George Washington was born on February 22, 1732, in Westmoreland County, Virginia. His upbringing was modest, and he received limited formal education, but he showed early leadership qualities and a strong work ethic. At the age of 20, he became a surveyor, gaining valuable skills and knowledge about the Virginia wilderness. George Washington's military career was a crucial part of his life, marked by both challenges and significant accomplishments that shaped his legacy. Washington's military journey began during the French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763. His first notable experience was leading a small force to the Ohio River Valley to assert Virginia's land claims. His leadership in the Battle of Fort Necessity marked his early foray into military command, albeit with mixed results. Despite early setbacks, Washington's tenacity and determination caught the attention of British authorities. He eventually rose to the rank of colonel in the Virginia militia and played a vital role in several engagements, gaining valuable experience in both combat and diplomacy. Washington's pivotal role came during the American Revolutionary War. In 1775, he was appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army by the Second Continental Congress. Taking charge of an ill-equipped, inexperienced, and often demoralized army, he faced numerous challenges. During the early years of the war, Washington faced a series of defeats and difficult circumstances. However, his leadership, strategic insight, and ability to inspire his troops were instrumental in keeping the cause alive. The famous crossing of the Delaware River in December 1776 culminated in a surprise attack on Hessian forces at the Battle of Trenton, a critical victory that bolstered morale. Washington's leadership was tested in a series of battles, including the harsh winter at Valley Forge, where the army faced extreme hardships. His perseverance and ability to keep the troops together despite adversity were crucial in eventually turning the tide of the war in favor of the American forces. The Revolutionary War culminated in the surrender of the British at Yorktown in 1781, a significant triumph that can be attributed in part to Washington's leadership. His decision to step down as commander-in-chief after the war ended solidified his commitment to civilian control of the military, a principle fundamental to American democracy. Washington's military career was marked by resilience, adaptability, and strategic prowess. The American Revolution was a pivotal moment in history, and George Washington played a central role in its unfolding. Before the Revolution, tensions between the American colonies and British authorities were escalating due to issues such as taxation without representation, trade restrictions, and perceived violations of colonial rights. Washington, already a respected figure in Virginia, joined the cause for independence and became increasingly involved in colonial politics. In 1775, the Continental Congress appointed Washington as commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. At the time, the situation was dire, with untrained and poorly equipped soldiers facing off against the highly disciplined British forces. Washington faced numerous challenges, including lack of resources, disease, desertion, and a series of defeats. Despite the odds, Washington's leadership and strategic acumen played a crucial role in turning the tide. He focused on training and discipline, instilling a sense of unity and resilience among his troops. His ability to adapt tactics such as utilizing guerrilla warfare and strategic retreats helped sustain the army through difficult times. The Revolution saw pivotal moments where Washington's leadership was instrumental. The surprise attack on the Hessians at Trenton after crossing the Delaware River in 1776 provided a much-needed morale boost. The winter at Valley Forge tested the resilience of the Continental Army, but also became a time of training and reorganization. The decisive victory at Saratoga in 1777, where the British Army surrendered, marked a turning point, leading to France formally entering the war as an ally to the American cause. This alliance significantly shifted the balance of power in favor of the colonies. In 1781, the war culminated in the Battle of Yorktown, where American and French forces, under Washington's command, successfully besieged the British Army led by General Cornwallis. This victory proved decisive, leading to Cornwallis's surrender and ultimately paving the way for the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which formally recognized American independence. His leadership during the war not only secured American independence, but also set a precedent for civilian control of the military, establishing the principle of civilian supremacy that remains a cornerstone of American democracy. George Washington's role as the first President of the United States was marked by profound significance, setting essential precedents and shaping the office of the presidency in fundamental ways. Inauguration and establishment of government. In 1789, Washington was unanimously elected as the first President of the United States after the ratification of the Constitution. His inauguration in New York City marked the birth of the nation's government under the new constitutional framework. His leadership was pivotal in establishing the structure and functioning of the federal government. Washington was acutely aware that his actions would establish precedents for future presidents. His decisions during his presidency aimed to lay the foundation for a strong and effective government while upholding the principles of democracy and the separation of powers. He established the cabinet system, selecting prominent figures such as Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, and others to advise him on matters of state. This move set the tradition of presidential cabinets and executive advisory bodies that continue to shape the administration's decision-making process. Washington's domestic policies aimed at stabilizing the new nation. He worked closely with Alexander Hamilton to establish the nation's financial system, including the creation of a national bank and implementing a plan to manage the national debt. His administration also grappled with issues related to westward expansion, Native American relations, and the establishment of a federal judiciary system. His foreign policy stance was guided by the principle of neutrality. This became evident in his response to conflicts between European powers, particularly during the French Revolution, and the conflicts between France and Britain. Washington believed that the fledgling nation needed to avoid entangling alliances to secure its own stability and growth. In 1796, Washington chose not to seek a third term and delivered his farewell address. In this influential speech, he cautioned against the dangers of political factionalism, warned against excessive debt, and advocated for national unity and the importance of avoiding permanent alliances with foreign nations. Washington's presidency established essential norms and principles for future leaders. His decision to step down after 2 terms set a precedent for peaceful transitions of power, emphasizing the temporary nature of authority and reinforcing the idea of a republic governed by laws rather than individuals. Washington's contributions were multifaceted. He helped shape the country's early government, setting essential precedents, such as establishing the cabinet system, setting the 2-term tradition for presidents, and advocating for a peaceful transition of power. His farewell address in 1796 emphasized the importance of unity, warned against political factions, and advocated for a foreign policy of neutrality, a cornerstone of American diplomacy for years to come. Washington's legacy extends beyond his political and military achievements. He's remembered for his integrity, leadership, and commitment to the ideals of liberty and democracy. His decision to step down after 2 terms set a precedent for peaceful transitions of power, establishing a crucial principle of American governance. George Washington remains an iconic figure in American history, revered for his leadership during times of war and peace, his dedication to the nation's founding principles, and his pivotal role in shaping the early republic ensure his enduring place as the father of his country.